Welcome everyone to Travel Tech. My name is Vinicius, founder and CEO of Travel Tech. Thank you everybody to be here. Thank you for all the panelists that we're going to have today: Juanjo, Carol, Paula, Richard, Theodoros, SOUMYA, BASU. Welcome everybody to be here. Thank you so much. I'm going to be here very fast. Today we're going to have Paula Carreirão, a good friend of mine, moderating the entire session by herself. Remind Travel Tech has been created in 2018. We have already 2 years of existence, and Travel Tech, it's a show that will keep. We are focused only on educational content for our attendees and for our entire trade, not only hotels, but also smart destinations, OTAs, tourists, travel agents. So we try on the different travel techs that we have during the year and the different sessions to go to different subjects and themes that it's important for public and for our industry. We need to remind that we are the unique show where we can have Juanjo, Carol, Paula, BASU, Theodoros, Richard, very important people with very important companies, expanding you and providing their knowledge totally for free. And we are the unique one. You can interact with them at the end of the session. So during the session, you can, doesn't matter if you are on Facebook, if you are on LinkedIn, or if you are on YouTube, you'll be able to set your questions, and Paula will ask your questions to our panelists today. So these are an outstanding session. Welcome everyone. Paula, from now on, is your forum. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great forum, guys. Ladies, cheers.
Thank you, Vinicius. Thank you so much for the invitation to be the moderator of this panel. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be here today with all of you. Thanks to the entire Travel Tech team for all the support backstage and for putting together a great event again. As Vinicius said, this is not their first time, and I've been in their first edition actually of the Travel Tech EMEA, so I'm very happy to be here. Hello everyone, and welcome to the panel, How to Improve Your Hotel Direct Sales Using Digital Marketing, Social Media, and Ads. This is the second day of Travel Tech EMEA, and we have here with us special guests, as you can already see on the screen. We're gonna discuss this important topic in the industry. So greetings again to everyone and welcome. For those who don't know me yet, my name is Paula. I'm the content coordinator at AskSuite, the 2020 and 2021 Best Chatbot for Hotels in the World by Hotel Tech Awards. And I'll be moderating this panel, as I said. I'm a former hotelier. Just briefly about myself, I'm a former hotelier, so I've been there. I've been working in the hospitality industry for 10 years, and now I help hotels by creating hopefully good quality content. I write blog posts, host webinars, podcasts, and participate in events such as this one. Well, again, just to give you a heads up of what is coming, we will cover great topics today, such as marketing trends, marketing investments, ways to get more traffic to their websites, direct bookings, distribution strategies, and much more. We have great experts here with us to discuss these questions. And I will start by saying hello to each panelist and welcoming them and let them introducing themselves and their companies to our audience. So each one of them has around 2 minutes to do that, 2-3 minutes. And after that, we're going to start our round of questions. So I'm going to start by you, Theodoros Katsimbras, CEO at Book Online Now. Thank you so much, Theodoros, for being here with us today.
Thank you, Paula. I'm very happy being once again part of Travel Tech. As you said, I'm Theodoros Katsimbras. I'm the CEO of Book Online Now. Book Online Now is a booking engine, so founded in 2009. We've expanded our works and clientele with more than 3,000 hotels in 47 countries. We have representatives and offices in US, Brazil, Argentina, Dubai, Central Europe, of course, Greece, which is the headquarters and where I'm from. I'm 20 years in the tourism sector. I consider myself a hero, especially the last 3 years with the COVID. So everybody dealing with tourism is a real hero, and the hoteliers, of course. And what our booking engine, in fact, does is that we bring great user experience and introduce novel functionalities in order to achieve and increase direct sales. So what we do usually is always with the help of the hotels and our partners globally, because each market has its own, let's say, client and its own strategy. So what we need to do is listen to the clients, listen to the hoteliers, and create functionalities that will increase direct sales.
Well, thank you so much, Theodoros, and I totally agree with you. We are all heroes and survivors here, I guess. Next is Carol Ann Doheny. She is the digital marketing specialist at BOOKASSIST. Hello, Carol Ann. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. So today I'm going to bring you through some top tips on how to achieve the best return on your digital marketing spend. But before I do, I just want to give you a little introduction to BOOKASSIST for those who are not familiar with us. So BOOKASSIST is a highly integrated direct booking suite with industry-recognized expertise for over 20 years. Since 1999, our key aim, apart from adding additional services, is to make sure all of our products, so our booking engine, digital marketing, channel manager, intelligence, GDS, metasearch, and web design services are fully integrated to improve conversion. So BOOKASSIST was actually acquired by Jonas Software in 2017. Jonas is a division of Constellation Software, which is one of Canada's largest software companies. We're part of this wider hospitality group, which is ever growing. So the benefit of that is that it gives BOOKASSIST the opportunity to bring other technologies from our sister companies into our marketplace. And likewise, those companies can use our technologies too. We have 6 offices in Europe. Our head office is in Dublin, Ireland. Our core office is in Madrid. And then we have 2 reseller offices, so one in Toronto and one in Argentina. With over 20 years in operation, we've worked with thousands of hotels worldwide, and we also work with a significant number of 5-star properties and hotel groups. We're pleased to say that we received great customer recognition. In the Hotel Tech Report Awards in 2020, we received 4 awards across all of our products, which we've repeated this year in 2021, along with the Hotelier's Choice Award. So we're actually the first company ever to hold 4 simultaneous #1 worldwide awards, and we're the only Irish supplier to ever win any Hotel Tech Report worldwide awards. So an achievement we're very proud of. We work with expert teams who support hotels as an additional team member and as partners in their direct strategy, focused on growing your business. So we only win if you win. So we're there to support you on this journey.
All right, thank you so much, Carol, and welcome again to this panel. And next, I want to welcome Juanjo Rodriguez, founder and CEO at the Hotel Network. Welcome, Juanjo, and please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you, Paula, everyone. So I'm Juan. I'm the founder of the Hotels Network. We are a technology company, obviously, and our focus is fully on direct bookings. We help hotels get more direct bookings by offering a suite of services that basically is based on 2 main products: benchmarking and personalization. With benchmarking, what we do is allow you to compare all of the metrics in your direct sales, understanding your conversion rates, your bookings, your future demand, length of stay, rates, disparities, user profile, how all of that compares to everyone else in the marketplace, in your destination, around the world. And then you get insights, you find pockets of value, opportunities to improve, and then you execute on those with a personalization strategy. So the second product on personalization integrates with the website and booking engine of the hotel brand to change the booking experience, to allow to understand to the end user, the traveler, to understand that this is the right hotel and that you should book it here in this direct website and not elsewhere. So the idea is, as a summary, is you learn through benchmarking and then you apply with personalization. We are working with around 12,000 properties around the world. We have a pretty distributed team, headquarters in Barcelona, but with a team on the ground in every continent.
Nice. Thank you so much, Juanjo, and welcome to the panel again. Next, we have SOUMYA BASU, Regional Director at ERIMAX and RATETIGER. SOUMYA, first of all, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, please correct me. And well, welcome to the panel.
Thanks, Paula. No, you pronounced it correctly, Soumya. That's right. Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Soumya Basu. I'm the regional head for Europe, South Africa, and North America region for ERIMAX RATETIGER. So I am working in this travel and software segment for quite a while right now. Have been with ERIMAX since last 7 years. I started my journey out here as in customer support. Then I moved into service management, and as of now, I'm handling account management and sales. Prior to this, I was in a IT and double service company where I used my domain of expertise was team handling and handling line of business for the enterprise accounts. Now, about Euromax, I'm sure you all know that we are a pioneer in this industry since 2001. We are into online rate shopping and channel management solutions. We continue to provide our hoteliers the solutions that makes their life every day simple because if it comes to online distribution, rate intelligence, revenue optimization, we are there for our clients. We are there for our partners to help them. We cater to thousands of hotels across worldwide. It's varying from mid-scale, big scale. We have a chain of hotels as well. So and we have independent hotels as well. Yes, we are into a one-stop solution for all our partners. We have our channel manager for ARI update and reservation delivery two-way. We have our rate shopping. We have our booking engine. We have our meta search connectivity, GDS, and of course, website development as well. So yes, that's in a nutshell about myself and ERIMAX, which is an extended family to me. And yes, thanks to Travel Tech for giving me this opportunity, and I look forward to a interactive and interesting discussion today. Have a great day.
Thank you, Soumya. And next, last but not least, it's Richard Cottrell. He is the commercial director at Sojern. So, Richard, can you please introduce yourself to the audience as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks everyone for your kind words as well. It's lovely to be here. As a quick introduction, so as Paula mentioned, my responsibility is really building out the Sojern brand across Iberia predominantly. A little bit more context into Sojern. We're really a company with over 14 years of experience in terms of really providing. We're a digital marketing provider, very much powered by artificial intelligence and what we refer to as travel intent data. So what does this really mean? Well, in essence, what we do is we're able to track travelers across the globe, more than 350 million active travelers, understand really what their purchase intent and online behavior looks like in order to be able to support whether it's large, small, medium-sized hotel groups, destinations, OTAs, meta search companies, really any company within the travel and tourism space, be able to influence really that purchasing cycle. So understand when someone's in market and be able to really then serve them with much more personalized messages. And we do this through different solutions. So very much multi-channel approach whereby we can run programmatic display, native video, SEM, connected TV, really a full suite, if you like, of solutions to be able to support full funnel, whether it is branding or more performance-based advertising campaigns for our clients.
Well, thank you so much, Richard. Thank you all panelists that are here with us today. Before we start the round of questions, I just want to remind the audience that we have a comment session where you can post your questions for the experts. It's not every day that you get the chance to do that, to interact with these global top professionals. So don't miss out on this opportunity. We encourage you to ask your question. Don't be shy. And we're going to go now for the round of questions, and each panelist will have a few minutes to answer their questions. And after that, we can discuss a little bit between us. And again, we would love to have your opinion and your question to include in our discussion. Okay, so we're gonna start now, and I'm gonna start with Theodoros. It's the first question goes to you. We start already with trends because we are heading to the end of the year and everybody's already thinking about next year, right? So which are the new trends for hotel digital marketing in 2022?
Okay, so as you said, we gained many information with the whole situation for 2020 and 2021. So let's see what happens in 2022. So the thing that surely has been the first effect is that the change of how the travelers book. Actually, you see, it's quite logical that many clients do not book through a travel agent, but they get it online in order to book a room or a hotel. So what we have seen also is that clients prefer, so from surveys that were conducted during 21, was that according to those surveys, 39% of the travelers wanted to book directly with the hotel, so directly from the brand.com website, and the rest of the 17% wanted to book from an OTA. So we see that the presence of your brand.com website makes serious, let's say, effect to your sales strategy for 22. The other thing is the presence of TikTok. So TikTok has managed in a short time to claim a very large share among the social media. So usually, when I say that, although TikTok has 1 billion users at this point, usually hotels are skeptical about TikTok and they think that this is something only youngsters use, so young children in fact, but this is wrong. And we've seen that many travel bloggers at this point use TikTok as a main advertising tool for their own hotels or any marketing material that they want to present. Another thing is the dominance of Instagram versus Facebook. So we see that Instagram has started and taking lead in terms of the digital marketing strategy for many hoteliers. So the main regulator of this development is the movement of younger people leaving Facebook platform and going to Instagram. And this way we can achieve, so the interesting thing on this is that through the posts that you can have through Instagram, you can achieve more and more sales for your direct sales. And there is where the booking engine comes. When you use the booking engine in your official website, there must be the tools in order to integrate deals, promotions, any marketing material that you wish in those social media platforms. Something else is the personalized communication with the prospective clients. You represent, Paula, a chatbot. So what we're seeing is the need of the customer to communicate with the hotel and the hotel owner to have clarifications this period about the destination, the measures that might occur at the period. So usually it's a very good not only have the chatbot inside in the website, but also have this implemented inside in the booking engine. So there are also chatbots like yours that have the full integration of the booking process within the official chatbot of each hotel. Something that is also was a trend, but now it's a must, is the analysis of the statistics. So it's you need to have a person in your hotel in order to see the statistics of your official website, the statistics of your channel manager, whatever brings knowledge about which is your clientele, which are the clients visiting, which is the age, if they are females, if they are males, from which countries. And what we've seen is this year is that traditional statistics has changed. So you cannot, let's say, cover your marketing or your sales strategy with the statistics of the past. You need to be always aware of what is happening today. And what we've seen, I'm located in Greece, for example, we've seen that the public visited Greece has changed radically, and it's not the traditional markets like UK or Germany, but it was from the Balkan region, for example. Another thing that is critical and is a must and a trend is content creation. in my opinion, content is the king. At this point, making a very good content into your official website makes your SEO, your search engine optimization, and gain better position in Google a great effect. So you don't need to create a static content. You need to be able to change the content of your official website all the time in order not only to achieve more information regarding the situation, but also achieve SEO in your official website. Another thing is the advertising campaigns. Of course, Richard with Sojern will know that and analyze that better. You need to be ready to spend an amount of money regarding campaigns in internet. So you must be fully competitive. And again, you don't need to be static. You need to change these campaigns. It doesn't mean that you start with a campaign in December and you need to continue with the same way all the year around. You need to change it week by week, month by month, getting the knowledge of the market that you want to represent and to target. So advertising campaigns will work with a great role in the hotel's marketing and sales strategy. That's from my point.
Thank you, Theodoros. I could talk a lot just following up with your questions, for doing a follow-up, because it's, well, first of all, it is, of course, a topic that I love since I'm a marketer, so of course. And I'm gonna just gonna do 2 points. I'm gonna just say 2 points here. And all the panelists, if you want to comment, please just go for it and I'll shut up, I promise. So yeah, you mentioned about TikTok, and I think that it's quite amazing how hotels are still reluctant to use it. And I mean, you have to be where your audience is and where potential guests are, and TikTok, it is a fact. And you don't need to dance, you don't need to, you really don't need to do that. You can have great TikTok videos, just like if you have a restaurant in your hotel, for example, you can just put amazing pictures with this trendy music, and then it's gonna viral. It's gonna be viral. And so I think that it's quite impressive that still hoteliers hesitate a little bit to use TikTok. I was actually reading HubSpot last study when every year they do a social like a social media report and what it's coming and what is trending and all that. And TikTok was definitely one of the topics. So I think that it's really nice that you brought up this TikTok. You mentioned TikTok as a trend. So I totally agree with you there, Theodore. Do you see, you mentioned already that you see that hotels are still reluctant, right, to use it?
Yes, they are afraid because usually youngsters use that. So they think that TikTok will not have an effect in their marketing strategy or their digital strategy. But what we see, and what we see also as Book Online now, is that we need to create tools in order to achieve recognition through TikTok at the same time. So it's not only about hoteliers, but also to convince our technical director, for example, that TikTok is a trend. So we need to implement things regarding videos and things that drive direct sales to the booking engine.
Joe, I'm just gonna say hello here to Carlos. Hi from Madrid. Hello, Carlos. Thanks for joining us. And another point that you mentioned, and please, again, anyone, if you want to say something, just go for it. It's about the direct bookings and direct contact with hotels. I think that's something that it's increasing year by year. I totally agree with you there too. And I think with the pandemic, I'm not sure if you all saw that with your clients. We've seen here hotels have, since everything it's so insecure now about traveling, and travelers have too many questions, and they have sometimes, unfortunately, to postpone the trip and all that. When they do through a third party, they couldn't manage their reservations, right? So if you have a direct bookings or direct contact to the hotel, I think that it's a win-win situation, especially now since we have all these possible problems, unfortunately, still have because due to the pandemic. Okay, Ivo saying here, any good reference who works with TikTok, a hotel? Anyone has any examples that comes to mind?
I do have some hotels in Dubai, so I can share that if he wants. He can find my details, and I can share that with an email. I do have some hotels in Dubai that use TikTok at this point.
All right. Thank you so much, Theodoros. We're going to go to the next question then, and it goes to Caro N. And it's about something that Theodoros already mentioned. It's about ads and investments and money. So how to achieve the best return on your digital marketing invest, Caro N? What can you tell hotels about that?
Well, before I do, so I just wanted to go back to basics and talk about why, first of all, we need digital marketing, remind everybody. So 95% of travelers search for hotels before making a booking. You have to maximize your visibility and own the entire guest journey from when they start considering their options all the way through to making a reservation on your direct website. If you're not claiming your own guests, somebody else will. So don't allow them to poach your direct visitors. Here are some of the ways you can ensure that visibility and achieve the best return. So first of all, make sure you're using paid advertising for your brand at all times. If you or your agency are running brand campaigns, you will see the examples of these when you type your hotel name into Google search. Typically, you'll see the hotel brand ads first, followed by the OTA ads. Without protecting your brand name and being in this mix, all your hard work in generating visibility will be wasted if potential guests end up clicking on an OTA ad, which costs you more than a direct booking. The second thing to look at would be your terms campaigns. So using terms associated with your location, local attractions, hotel USPs, you can improve reach and find new guests in the upper funnel when they are searching for hotels that match these terms. The third item to look at would be display campaigns. So due to extensive user data that Google and other search engines possess, you as a hotel can accurately target users who are interested in travel or hotels, even when they are not actively searching, but are simply browsing the web. This can be done by using display, discovery, remarketing, and video campaigns. The fourth thing to look at would be social ads. As a hotel, you can maximize visibility across the user journey by advertising on additional platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. Targeting is extremely sophisticated on social media, so once you've decided on your marketing objective, it is possible to create a refined audience based on demographics, interests, and behaviors. Number 5, pricing. There's no point investing in paid marketing if your rates and availability are not managed properly. Customers will shop around on OTAs and review sites, so if they can get a hotel room cheaper somewhere, why would they book with you? Similarly, if you don't provide enough availability on your own site, potential guests may not be able to book after clicking on one of your ads. And finally, book direct. Ensure that guests see the reasons to book direct when they arrive on your website. Don't just tell the website users why your hotel is great. They already know that. They've chosen to visit your website. Tell them why they should book on your site specifically. What's in it for them to book on your site versus booking on an OTA? Is it complimentary car parking or complimentary late checkout? Make sure your book direct message is a clear advantage. So how do you measure the success of your digital marketing efforts? Success is primarily measured in terms of increased bookings and revenue growth. But there are other areas that are also important, which will collectively lead to long-term success for your digital marketing strategy. One of those is lower cost per acquisition. So it should be cheaper to generate direct bookings than to rely on OTAs. Another one is increased visibility and traffic. So not all campaigns lead to direct bookings, but they should create new audiences and increased brand awareness. Another one is micro conversions. So not everyone who comes to your website will book, unfortunately, but you can encourage micro conversions such as newsletter sign-up, social media shares or follows, etc., from which then you can use that data for future campaigns. Higher engagement with guests. So social media ads and retargeting ads allow you to engage with followers and site visitors with new messaging and promotions, leading to increased repeat traffic and bookings. So people will always ask, what's this going to cost me? That's the wrong question. The question is, what will be my net gain from all this effort? If you set a budget for digital marketing, then you're setting a limit on what you can achieve before you assess how it is operating. That is a mistake. So you need to see if you can generate margin or ROI, and if that is there, then you need to keep supporting that effort. So think of it this way. Every hotel has a bar, right? So if your bar runs out of beer mid-month, what do? Do you just close your bar and say, sorry, my budget for beer is gone for the month, come back next month? No, you buy more stock as long as you know you can sell it. PPC clicks should be considered like that. As long as you can generate revenue margin on them, a return on your clicks, you should continue to buy clicks, not artificially limit it. Fixing a budget too low and too early in your strategy development is a mistake. So PPC clicks should be considered like stock for sale. They're opportunity generators, not just cost. In conclusion, it is important that when a customer searches on your hotel's name on Google, your direct website appears on top of the search. If this space is owned by OTAs, then you will lose out on revenue. You can reach new and existing customers even when they're not actively searching by using display, discovery, remarketing, and video campaigns. Your digital marketing budget must be dynamic, and you need to be able to continuously adjust it. Buy more clicks when that makes sense for your business. Bottom line, having a good digital marketing strategy will give your hotel visibility across all platforms, helps you own the entire guest journey, and reduce your direct CPA. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. I love your analogy with the bar. I think everybody can relate to that, and it's easy. I love your tips. I think you're spot on. I think advertising is still something that scares most of the hotels, and especially if you think about smaller hotels or mid-sized hotels, most of the times they don't even have someone in marketing. It's like the hotel manager that have to do it all. So then it can feel like it's a waste of money if you don't know how to measure. I think that's really a good point. And Pedro here is saying, I think that's for you too, because you mentioned being on top of the Google. So he's saying here, do you think that on a market like a big city with hundreds of hotels, CEO strategy is still valid when we know that people don't even bother to go to page 2 of Google results? Before you answer that, it remind me a webinar that I hosted, and one expert told me, I think it's a good way of thinking, is that when you're talking about SEO strategy and you have a big city like Pedro is saying, of course, if you put like hotels in New York, if you're a small hotel, your chance of being there in organic, it's really, really low. So what this expert said, and I think it makes sense, and I want to hear you too, Karen, is that try to target long keywords, like long tail. Be more specific when you do your SEO strategy, instead of saying hotels in New York. If your hotel have something really unique, you can target this kind of long tail that we call in marketing keywords, and then you get less visibility. Let's say not so many people will look for that specific keyword, but the ones they do, they will be very happy to find you because they are more targeting what you have to offer. So that would be my personal tip for Pedro. But Karen, if you have any other suggestions for him.
Yeah, I think, it's still important, and it's just, I suppose, being clever with that approach. Like you said, it's coming up with, different content ideas that can rank well. Like you can work on your SEO, the content that's on the website. I think Theodoros touched on that earlier. Like, it is important to spend the time on the content creation that you have going on there on the site itself. Even in, things that you can do, like your knowledge graph on Google My Business is very important. So there are ways, I suppose, that, in big cities that you can come up with kind of the clever content, to get that ranking and visibility. Another thing is like the backlinks, any articles that you're being listed on, and, to reach out there and get your website promoted in that sense as well. It's all free. It's still SEO, but it's just, I suppose, coming up with different, clever ways of ranking.
Paula, can I add something to that?
Of course, Richard, go.
Yeah, just actually in reference to Pedro's comment and what Caroline has mentioned, I think this really reiterates the importance as well of having a multi-channel strategy. SEO is not the only way of being able to stand out. I mean, pre-pandemic, we already knew, and I'm sure you've all seen it, and all the listeners have seen it, that it has become very complex, primarily because we'll talk about technologies and everything at a later stage, but travelers have historically have never really been loyal to any particular brand, and this is what makes it even more complex. Added to that, we're now starting to see that online behavior is incredibly complex to track because they're using multiple devices. We've even uncovered, through our own research, but also through Google think tank research, we've seen things like, in terms of analyzing the path to purchase, we've seen up to 450, 500 touch points when it comes to booking your next holiday. So this kind of reiterates the importance of having presence, multi-channel, cross-device. And with that doesn't mean you need to be spending huge amounts of budgets. You just really need to probably be utilizing the right technology stack in order to help you do that. But I think, this is something pre-pandemic. Post-pandemic, yes, I think a lot of hotels have we mentioned this, we've seen direct bookings increase, less reliance on OTAs, primarily probably driven by, high cancellation and the fact that there is still so much uncertainty. But it's obviously a big opportunity now. And as a result, we've seen even, small hotel chains, they've gone through quite a significant kind of digitalization process, which has really brought them up to speed. But that means they can now become a lot more competitive than I think in the past.
Yeah, thank you so much, Richard, for insight into this topic, and I agree with you too. It's a multi-channel challenge and effort, and you don't have to go with one or the other. I think it's a combination, and we wish it was more simple to understand the journey, the traveler's journey. But like you said, it's several multiple touch points, and it's a hard thing to understand. So thank you so much for adding value to this question. And I'm gonna go to the next one, to Juanjo, and I'm gonna ask you, Juanjo, do you think there is a need to establish an industry standard for benchmarking direct channel performance?
So the main issue here is it's really hard to know how good you are doing in any of your work as a hotelier. Is your conversion rate good? Are you getting enough bookings? Because anyone, but how much should you aspire to? And that's the core idea behind the benchmarking approach. Benchmark is really, what can I aspire to be? What's the best in class doing? What's the average? So can I at least be average? And all of that now is very opaque. It's almost impossible to understand how you are performing any of your metrics, because by definition, you don't know what the other hotels are doing. For example, typically when people talk about benchmarking, they're talking about rates. So you see your rate, someone else's. But that's a tiny slice of the work of a hotelier online. If you're the digital marketer, anything that is not rates, you have literally no idea. So what do? You ask your providers, you ask your agency, you ask your booking engine provider, etc. But the problem with this approach is, first, that the amount of information you're looking at is relatively small, because it's only that providers in particular, but also that your provider is part of the game. There's a huge conflict of interest, because they are never going to say, with me, you're performing worse than someone else. And that happens to every one of us. You're never going to say something that can be used against you as a vendor in technology or services or whatever it is. So we want to be neutral, that we provide a service that we really have no skin in the game, in the sense that we don't care what technology you're using, who you work with. We are just comparing your data with someone else's data. And therefore, by being transparent and play Switzerland a little bit, that we work with everyone, then we can provide a lot of value by allowing you to understand what are the opportunities to improve. We do that for the direct channel in general. Then the other key idea for me is that the discussion, so online selling is relatively straightforward. You bring people and you convert those people into buyers. In the case of hotel, bookers. The discussion today is mainly about how I attract these people, how I bring more people to the website. But there's a funny number. The better your conversion rate, so the second step of that equation, the cheaper the first one becomes. It's quite mathematically straightforward. If your conversion rate is 2% and your CPA is 10, if your conversion rate goes up to 3, then suddenly your CPA goes down to 7. So the fact that you improve conversion not only gives you value on itself, it makes every single media campaign and investment in traffic acquisition much cheaper and much more efficient. That's why it's a complete win-win. To invest in the second part of the process improves the first part of the liberates budget that you can spend on more campaigns. So you can decide to lower CPA or maintain CPA, but just get many more users. And I think that's a very interesting idea. Also because it's sustainable. Typically, the work you do in improving your website conversion stays over time. It's not something that you have to keep investing on. And versus pure media acquisition that when you stop campaigns, people stop coming. So the takeaway of this is you have to do both at the same time. If you put all of your effort in trying to attract users, but you don't know what to do with them, then the result isn't optimal.
Thank you, Juanjo. I think that's very interesting that you start by saying how hard it is to benchmarking, and to be quite honest, I didn't think about that in that perspective. So I personally appreciate your insight here. And I'm just gonna remind everybody to ask the questions here for the panel. We already having some questions, and we're trying as best as we can to answer them. And yes, going back to you, Juanjo, I think it's a kind of, from what I understand from you saying, it is like a good circle. The more results you get, and then you get less you need to spend because it gets cheaper the second part, like you were saying there. I think that's something that most hoteliers don't get it, right?
Well, it's because it's complicated. You have to do a lot of things. I think as you guys were saying before, things are getting more elaborate. There's more tools to do, more options for you to do, typically with less people to do it, because everyone is very restrained in the team. You just have less hands to do it. And you have to in order to do it properly, you have to manage 20, 25 tools. It's pretty crazy. So it's not because you don't want to do it, I think, as a hotelier. It's because just getting it right is complicated. And what we are trying to do, at least from our side as a vendor, is to make it as easy as possible. So when you get a new tool or a new process, you have to spend as little time as possible to have it running, and it's still working for you. That's the core promise of technology, that you don't have to do everything manually. That there's some smarts somewhere and some processes that get automated that do the work for you.
But Juanjo, the other thing that the pandemic brought is that technology companies communicate, they integrate it with each other. So instead of having 20 tools, you might have one tool, but it's integrated with another 10 tools at the same time. So something that the pandemic has brought is all of us together integrate in order to achieve a better result for the hotelier. Okay, so I think this is another point that we need to raise.
Yeah, that's totally correct. Actually, I think this panel is a good example because we are integrated with Book Online now. We are integrated with Access, with Sojern. So the idea, I think we all realize that with this restriction of time, you have to do things easier. And in many cases, easier of use is better than more power that you do have time to take advantage of. And now that the technology integrations happen, the next thing is that the use integrations happen too, meaning that with minimal time investment on the side of the hotelier, you can get as much as you can from all of the tools.
I would also add, actually, very much to your point, Theodoros, and what you were mentioning, Juanjo, I think the pandemic has actually allowed a lot of technology providers to go back to focusing on their real value proposition, not trying to necessarily be able to provide a bit of everything, but actually go back to specialization. And so obviously, as a result, that's where partnerships have played a key role, because we've all seen it, and we've all clearly mentioned here. It doesn't take. You don't have to be working with 10 providers. You can be working with a handful. That will still give you the right control. It will still give you the right visibility. You'll still be able to measure success. And I think that's probably another point as well, Juanjo, when you mentioned about the benchmarking, there's probably difficulty as well in providing true benchmarking, because some hoteliers may consider certain metrics to be more valuable than others. But I think if you have tools that can help you track on all of those, it's certainly a win-win.
Yeah, I think that one good side. Well, okay, I can't say good side of the pandemic because it doesn't have any. But anyway, I think you're all right. I think brought together a lot of hotel tech companies, and integration becoming a key point for hotels and for the companies as well. And yeah, and like you said, Juanjo, like you have to make it simple. Have to come back to the basic. Why you have a technology to make it simple and easy for the hotelier, especially now that have so many hotels understaffed. So yeah, technology is not. I think it's not nice to have. It has become more and more a must-have. I just want to say hello to Punta del Este. I have someone here saying hello. So hello. And going to the next question that goes to Soumya. What do you think are some of the ways that we were talking about getting more traffic before? So Soumya, what do you think are some of the ways that hotels can utilize to get more traffic to their brand website for improving direct bookings?
Sure. Thanks for the question. We already spoke about it before, and first let's understand why do we need that? Why is this trend happening? Yeah, we have seen a lot of different things happening during this pandemic. We all started, we think out of the box. We all started more to think out of the box, actually. New technologies coming up, understaffed, a lot of different factors. Now, what we have seen right now is like there's a rise of digital and the Google travel search. So hotelier's journey has grown a bit complex. Before, operations manager or revenue manager was busy, like managing the hotel services, updating rates, inventory, pricing, everything for the hotel to get best of the bookings from the OTAs. But now, what they have to do is they have to do the addition. They have to do the job that they're doing. But in addition to that, they have to compete for the guest in these new channels and these new digital communities every day. I was going through one research actually, and that was showing that 85 to 87% of today's online travel guests, they actually visit a hotel website first before making a reservation. And the more interesting fact is that, as research done by Google shows that the same set of customers, this actually goes to about an average of 18 websites via multiple devices across 8 sessions before making this hotel booking. This is a very interesting research, and this actually triggers this actually triggers the thing that yes, there is a necessity of a hotelier to manage both the things. Like we all know that we get the reservations from the OTAs, that's perfectly fine, but getting reservations from the brand website is becoming a necessity nowadays. So digital marketing comes into place now. We all know that Expedia, giant channels like Expedia bookings, they have actually deployed more and more engineers to focus solely on this digital and booking optimization. This is one reason we see about 60 to 70% bookings for the hotels still coming from the OTAs. So how do we do that? How does a hotelier, being a hotelier, how do I actually reassure myself that the customer journey in front of the online travelers to increase the direct bookings? How can we do that? Digital marketing, of course, comes into place, but while being a hotelier, while to get access to more and more direct bookings, we have to understand around 5 phases of this customer behavior. We all know that if I being a hotelier, sorry, if I being a guest, if I'm going to do a booking, normally we do see 5 phases. The first one is the dreaming stage. I think that I'm going to travel next summer. I don't know where I'm going to travel, but I'm going to travel. There's a dreaming phase. Second phase is the planning stage. Okay, now I've planned. I know that I might be traveling to Egypt or might be traveling to US, New York. So now I want to search for specific rooms. I have this budget. I wanted this room. I want a suite. I want this pricing is my budget. So I'm in the planning stage right now. Next is the booking stage. I have decided the hotel. I have decided where I need to go. Now I have to search for the favorite option, like from where to book. Do I book through OTAs? Do I book through the brand website? I have to do that. The next stage we see is the experience stage. Now, I am the guest. I have sit in front of my laptop. I have my brand website open. I have the OTAs open. I have the Google Hotel Ads, Google open to compare what are the prices over there. So this is the experiencing stage. And last of all, the sharing stage. What did I do? Did I book the hotel from the brand website, from the booking engine, from the hotel website, or did I book from the OTAs? How was my stay at the hotel? How did I rate the hotel? How did I give them a review? How was my review? How was my experience? Everything. So these five stages: streaming stage, planning, booking, experience, and sharing. These things have actually we have to keep in mind actually when we go ahead and when we chalk out our digital marketing strategies to get more and more direct bookings. So how do we do that? I will just enlist 4 or 5 points that comes to my mind, and how can we do that? So number one is of course the hotel website and the booking engine. That should be the first and foremost priority. Booking engine, the first of the priority is a brand website. The website should have a very good load speed. We all know that we go into a hotel website. I'm going into a hotel website. I see the hotel website. The speed is very very less. The loading speed is very very less. 50% of the people leaves a website if it takes more than 5 seconds to load. That's number one. Your website, the website should be mobile responsive. Now we know that we are in front of a laptop maybe during the business hours, or maybe when I go back to home after dinner I sit in front of my laptop. But the most important thing is I have my iPhone in my hand. The mobile is with everyone. Whether we are in the marketplace, whether we are inside the tube, whether we are any place, the mobile is there, and that's one mechanism, that's one device from where we want to access whatever we need to. I mean, if I'm traveling, if I'm waiting for the tube, I will actually go through the hotel website, go through OTAs. So there the point comes, like the brand website should be mobile responsive. As a hotelier, I have to go ahead and I have to update my hotel website daily. Whenever there's a new information, I have to update that in the website. If I have to customize any information, I have to customize that. Maybe I will give some links to the recent search which I've seen to my website. So that's something which I have to do. But there's a question. If I keep my website updated, my website is very good, my website is a very good speed. Does that mean that I'll get more and more bookings? No. The answer is no. As in today's time, I have to have a very good booking engine automated to it. The booking engine should be integrated with the brand website. It has to have a payment gateway. So as a guest, when I go to book a hotel, I go to the brand website, I see it fits my budget, I get my desired room which I need, and I see they have a booking engine. So I check my dates, check in, check out, book now, take my go ahead and check out my check the room that I want, and go ahead and do the booking. So if I have the brand website, so that's more important. You have a brand website, you have a booking engine automated integrated to it, and that has a payment gateway. That's easy step is much required. No guest would go ahead and want to go through 10, 15, or 5, 10 steps. They want the easy 1, 2, 3 step that should go ahead and that should complete the booking process. So this is the need for the first one, which I told, a website and a booking engine. Now, second thing, I have to differentiate my hotel and direct channel from the OTAs. How do I do it? First and foremost thing, the pricing is the very much important thing, and the perks associated to it. So the perks might be a free entry to a rainforest nearby, or free parking, or a free jacuzzi and spa. Anything can be. So I have to incentivize my customers to book direct. I have to create benefit for my loyal guest as well. I should have, I, if I'm a hotelier, I should keep a track of who are my returning guests, who were my guests back last year, what's the date of birth, what's the anniversary. So get back to them, tell them, hey, I guess you spent a very good anniversary last year staying at a hotel. It was a staycation for you. So why don't you come back? I'm going to give you a 10% discount. For me, being a hotelier, if I give a 10% discount, that's actually very much less than the commission paid to the OTAs. That's a very good thing for me. So I'll choose that option. Second would be to deliver targeted and marketing campaigns basis what clients needs. The hotel has to read the client. The guest has been to the hotel. They know what the client the guest likes. Maybe they like to have dinner inside the room, or they maybe they like spending time in the swimming pool, something like that. So when I need that, yes, this is the guest which they actually like these things, so I can go ahead and I can do some marketing targeted to those guests who like those things. So I have to explore the data from various sources, and we can actually see that we know that what my guests want. So we have to customize the guest experience. We have to read our guest's mind. We have to actually provide them additional options for customers to making a booking, everything. So creating partnerships, or maybe I can create partnership with the local attractions. Maybe I have a zoo nearby. Maybe I have a amusement park nearby. So I'll tell my guests, okay, if you're staying at my hotel, if you're booking direct, the guests see that if they're booking direct, they would get a complimentary visit to the amusement park nearby. And I've seen there are a lot of hotels who are doing that. In US, in Europe, I've seen them doing that. And of course, you have to differentiate your booking packages. You have to come up with innovative room types as the product offers. Now, you have to offer them in your brand website. You can, I mean, if you go to OTA, you might see this 1, 2, 3 rooms. But if you come to a brand website, the guest is there in your brand website, they might get a different choice of rooms out there. So that's another thing. Search engine optimization, we just spoke about it a couple of minutes back. There are two things. We all know that when we start to think about our ideas for our travel journey, it happens within a search engine. And around 30% of the accommodation search happens within there only. And we have Google reports, and Google reports has shown that the near me searches have actually grown 150% faster than these traditional local searches. So how do we do it? There are one or two tips to how the hotelier can do it. They can establish a local keyword. Yeah, in a big city there may be a lot of thousands of hotels. So what you can do is, if someone is visiting in New York, they want to stay in Manhattan Square, they will go ahead and the hotelier will have a search engine optimization by going ahead and considering the local intent over there. So if I'm looking for a local hotel, then I have to have some search engine optimization done, so that it will help me. If the guest might like Statue of Liberty, might like some other places, so they will search by. So the website should have that local search engine optimization done. And of course, we have to encourage our customer reviews is a very important thing. Like whenever a guest has stayed inside the hotel, whenever a guest has a very good experience at the hotel, we have to encourage the customers to give reviews, and that will in turn will of course result in getting the direct bookings. We already spoke about social media. That's the hub right now. So everyone is on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. All the hotels are. So as a guest, I am also looking through all the different social media platforms. So the more and more the hotels go ahead and advertise, they make themselves visible on the social media, maybe on any of the platform, that of course will give them a lot more return to their direct bookings. Last but not the least, we have to increase our online presence with the Google Hotel. As we all know, Google Hotel Ads, it's a meta search platform. It was originally founded in 2011, known as Google Hotel Finder. So we all know that this platform displays the hotel rates in direct comparison to the OTAs. So how can we go ahead and how can we showcase our hotels on Google across every different devices? How can we be benefited from that? So few benefit will be like we can increase the direct traffic to the hotel's website. The hotel ads that contain your company's name, hotel name, price, text callouts to highlight the unique benefit of the booking through your site. We can tailor made a hotel prices as well by the hotel's availability and traveler itineraries. Like we can just go ahead and we can manage the hotel's pricing. Like I want to keep this room's price as maybe $100, but I'll see that what is the other hotels doing right now in comparison to the OTAs. I will see where my hotel stands in comparison to the OTA. So I can go ahead and I can tailor made my prices as well. And of course, we should not forget, we can send our customers to our website to book, or allow them to book on Google as well. And the best benefit is that you pay for an ad only when someone books at that hotel. So yes, those are these few things that comes to my mind whenever hotel in case of going ahead and getting more direct bookings to the brand website. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Soumya. Just going back to the beginning of your answer, I think the speed, the website speed, loading speed, it's something that many business underestimated and how much impact it has. I personally, if I'm a customer of any company or a traveler trying to book a hotel, if it takes too long to load the page, I just give up. I will not wait more than, I think you said 5 seconds, right? I will not do that. And it's easy to check, have even, and now I don't remember exactly if anyone knows, have a free website that you can check how is your site speed.
The speed, right,
Yeah,
right.
exactly. So you can check if this is a problem, and also that you have to consider mobile friendly, to be mobile friendly. And then here has actually a question from Vipin, and he's saying, how can we improve traffic on a mobile first vacation rental business? So someone, if you can help him a little bit here.
Well, I think I had touched on it earlier, just in terms of the brand campaigns. So as we all know, like mobiles are smaller in size and screen. So if you search even for your vacation rental business name in Google, it's more than likely going to be the paid ads that'll take up most of the first page. So, you know, if you're not set up with your brand campaigns, you're not in that mix. And as we all know, you know, guests and website visitors are very lazy. And like you said, Paula, like you're not going to scroll, you're not going to find, you know, your organic listing. So probably something that could help is obviously just take a look at your brand paid campaigns and make sure that you are, first of all, you know, in that mix at the very top of Google search. Obviously, another thing, like Soumya mentioned, you know, is that mobile website, make sure that it is responsive and like have that in mind in terms of, you know, the site itself, and test it obviously on, you know, different mobiles. You know, we know that they all have different screen sizes too, and pop-ups can interfere on mobile as well. So that's something that, you know, just to test as much as you can and see exactly what the mobile user experience is, because it, as we all know, it can differ greatly from your desktop version.
I would probably add to that as well, just quickly. I think we have mentioned it, but worth mentioning again is, you know, virtual concierge or chatbots. Actually, this is a solution that is gaining a lot of adoption, and I think ultimately that is what's going to help with maintaining that user online, whether it is a mobile device or it's running through your desktop. But you know, maybe something to consider for Vipin in this case. Because ultimately, you know, we, as any hotelier, really any company offering a product or service, you know, you don't really have a second opportunity to make a first impression. So you have to create that stickiness and be quick at responding, but ultimately always thinking about that user experience at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think that's you nail it, Richard, and I think Karen too. I think it's amazing how many hotels or hotel staff, hotels managers, whatever, don't actually test their own website. We start asking them if have you tried to book on your hotel on your mobile, you know, and then they, oh yeah, this is not, the layout is wrong, or and then they start singing. So this is something very simple, like you said, Karen, and tested. Marketing's a lot of tests. Unfortunately, it doesn't have one size fits all, but it's testing and making sure that experience that you're providing, it's a not even a good one, have to be a perfect one nowadays. So it's higher expectations that travelers have. We have another question here. The next question goes to Richard. Richard, let's talk about a little bit about distribution strategies. I think we haven't talked enough, so it's a good point, an important point. So Richard, what distribution strategies can we expect to see going into 2022, and what role will advertising and technology and traveler data play in supporting this?
So yeah, quite a complex question, but let's break it down if you like. So no, I mean, really, just as we all know, distribution can be really online and offline. You know, especially for There is some differences as well if we're talking about specific travel verticals, but for specifically hoteliers, that is things like their own website. It's things like GDS. It's things like OTAs, meta search companies, even call centers. These are all distribution channels. Now, obviously, the pandemic, the shift, the uncertainties, the constant closing and opening of frontiers, I think that's added to the complexity. But there hasn't been any kind of distribution channel that's gone away. I think what there certainly has been is, we're probably beating the same drum here, but the direct channel has certainly seen where we've seen some very interesting changes. Aside from that, I'll talk a little bit more into that. But what has actually been really interesting as well is starting to see some changes in terms of distribution models actually from OTAs. So we have examples. You have, for example, TripAdvisor Plus. You have eDreams Prime. These are all kind of subscription models that what they're trying to do is and I think they're doing it very effectively if we see some of the financial results for some of these OTAs. But we're seeing that they're trying to also create stickiness with their own services. They've certainly seen that direct bookings and how hoteliers have managed to, I suppose, maintain those relationships has ultimately affected them as well. So the different distribution models is one. From a marketing perspective, you look at providers like ourselves and many others. I think there's also been a difference and a slight adaptation to the situation, whereby introducing things like even subscription models or commission-based models for advertisers and hoteliers. What has this done? Well, it's primarily taken the risk away from hoteliers, primarily, I think, influenced by this uncertainty, and it means that now that risk is taken by the tech provider. But what it has done is it's really leveled the playing field a little bit. From a marketing mix perspective, I think we've seen, and this is what has been able to influence that slight weighting now more towards direct, whereas we've seen some hoteliers, some large groups, even smaller independent ones, where they primarily 70 to 80% of their business was being generated through OTAs. That's now taken a shift as they have begun adopting almost SaaS solutions of their own, whereby they're utilizing much more efficiently first-party data. So it's allowing them to understand more about their specific clients, even creating traveler segments themselves, whereby they can then upsell or cross-sell certain solutions depending on where that user is in the path to purchase. Soumya, you mentioned as well that that analysis of that path to purchase means that you can activate even different types of strategies depending on whether they're in that dreaming phase. So we've seen some very interesting increase in adoption, primarily in markets like the US or UK, where connected TV has taken some prominence, because it's a fantastic way of really kind of really generating eyeballs to your brand, creating a bit of that fear of missing out, being able to inspire travelers in a much more efficient way. Using native advertising, in fact, is actually a good way of driving contextual relevancy. Video, again, we obviously talked about social media. It's been very interesting to see some adoption there, and yes, I think there's even some differences on the kind of the traveler demographic. So Generation Z, yes, they all tend to probably use and share experiences and even create that FOMO, that fear of missing out, amongst their friends and peers. But that's certainly where TikTok and Instagram and Facebook have kind of created a niche for themselves. But yeah, I think all these are going to continue, I think, supporting those distribution channels, mostly obviously online distribution channels here. But I think as well that's been quite an interesting I think reflection really on making that technology more available. But ultimately, what we're certainly seeing is that, hoteliers actually are in a prime position right now where they can start building their own guest profiles, making sure that they're collecting the right data, because ultimately they have never, probably to this day, not really utilized efficiently, CRM data or loyalty programs, and this is an opportunity for them to do that and use the kind of marketing mix solutions or multi-channel solutions in order to make that more effective. But I think they have to continue working on building those relationships. At the end of the day, that's what's really going to help them create that stickiness, probably avoid some of that the negativity of the fact that travelers are fairly unloyal, if we look at it like that. But I think it's ultimately going to prepare them for 2022 onwards, really.
Yeah, and Richard, you're talking about data, and remind me also a conversation I had not so long ago about now it's quite easy for hotels to collect data, and now they're collecting a lot of data and they don't know what to do with it. So it's now like almost the opposite. And also I think it impressed me too, and sometimes they use a lot of really good they have a really good hotel tech stack in their hotels, but they use their solution like, I don't know, 30% of what they actually can do, even though a lot of companies work with customer marketing and stuff like that, and showing what they can do. I think, like you said, it's something quite new. I think it's a new world for most of hotels, if you think globally. And what is your tip on that? And if you have any advice, it happens with you guys, have you seen that people hoteliers a bit confusing, are getting a bit confusing with all this data, and
yeah,
I'm not sure what to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a very famous saying, without data, you're just someone with an opinion. So absolutely, data is what's helping a lot of hoteliers and really any player within the travel space be able to take and make better informed decisions. It's not just around using first-party data to know what kind of a traveler you want to appeal to and how to potentially change your service or product. Obviously, a family traveler is not the same as a business or leisure traveler. Quite different kind of expendable incomes in some cases, different behaviors, and obviously they're going to want different services to complement that stay. So that's where the use of data can be hugely valuable. But I think it's also around working with data providers that can give you that context and that visibility into, what's really happening in real time. How are behaviors really changing? How are people's leads time? And when it comes to booking and searching and booking for their next destination, the type of travelers, how long they're spending in destination, all this information, if you can work with providers such as Sojern, that there are obviously others out there. But also there are some certain tech providers that can actually help you integrate that CRM data so that it doesn't require huge expertise. You don't need to hire a team of data analysts to do that for you. You have companies out there that whether it's themselves or through different strategic partnerships that they have, whether it's the kind of the SaaS platforms that they offer, whereby you can, fully work on programmatic display campaigns, on retargeting, on even accessing chatbot technology, even review sites. All this information is readily available to them. So it is actually, it's never been an easier time for them, although there is choice. So that can add to the complexity.
But the statistics, Soumya. So the statistics have been simplified for hoteliers. So all the companies give statistics and reports that simplify the whole process. Even I mentioned the Hotel Network, for example, they give Bench Direct for free in order hoteliers to understand better their market and the inside of the hotel, or even from our booking engine, there are reports that simplify the process to understand the booking window, from which country the clients are coming from. So, and also, because I have questions from small hoteliers, not big ones, there are free tools like Google Trends, for example, in internet, where they can experiment and search around and understand what is actually a booking window. So this way, also small hoteliers can gain from the statistics they find through our technology products.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we, just to give an example as well, obviously when the pandemic kicked off, Sojern very much acted as a support system for its over 10,000 kind of global clients. That it wasn't a time for them to invest because they really didn't know, the real impact or implications of the pandemic. So, we continue doing that to date, where we provide basically market intelligence in order to help them understand, where those fluctuations are happening, even analyze certain specific feeder markets and understand which destinations are gaining market share. All this information, lead times, etc. All this information, it's really was provided really to give them that additional transparency. But there are sources out there that will continue doing that, and I think that's important. Now, when you combine that kind of market intelligence with the technology stack that's out there with their own first-party data, that's really is a strong formula for success. Those are vital ingredients that will ensure that they can be successful, going into next year and beyond.
Right, Richard. I just wanted to add on something. Like we were talking about data. So data is something like a backbone right now. So everyone needs data. I mean, without data can be used by a revenue manager for running the hotel operations, can be used for hoteliers to attract guests. Like I'll give a small example. Like I do talk to my hoteliers on a daily basis. So when we were having the COVID first wave, we just came out of the first wave. Like people started traveling, domestic travel. There's a lot of domestic travel happening in US and Europe. So I know about hotels who have gathered the data when guests did stay at the hotel. So they went back to the guests and saying that, hey, are you interested for domestic travel right now that we have seen these countries have opened, like this is the domestic travel happening within the states. So what would be your choice? So after second wave, so people started moving out. They started moving out from this country to that country. So then again, that data was very useful for the hoteliers. They actually went ahead. They actually uh, went back to the guests. Now we see that travel is happening within the countries. So will you be ready for this travel, for your next travel? So that's why this data is very, very important. Data is a very important word in today's world, and we know that the technology is evolving, technology is changing. Everyone has to keep ourselves updated. I mean, if there's a legacy hotel staying with the old technology, I mean, it's an alarm for them. No, go ahead, rise up, wake up. It's time for you to go ahead and go connect to the new technology now. So data is the backbone, and the new technology is the new method. So both are interlinked for running hotel operations smoothly, or for getting more revenue, for more reservations, everything. That's something I wanted to add on. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for all the insights and tips and considerations. We are starting to head to the last part of this webinar. So if you're watching us now, this is your chance to ask the experts your question about hotel marketing. We appreciate everyone that is interacting with us already. Thank you so much. And Vipin is saying thank you because we answered his question. So thank you, Vipin, for interacting. I'm going to go to Carol Ann actually now, because we are talking about data, of course, and the journey. So Karen, I think it would be a good topic to include now. What are your top tips on retargeting customers? I think you're mute, Karen. I think so.
I am. So something that can encourage hotel direct sales is the use of retargeting. Obviously, it was touched on during today's forum, but just to go back again, so retargeting allows you to re-engage with previous website visitors, delivering ads to them based on which pages they visited, how long they spent on them, or actions they didn't take, all in the name of creating more relevant, compelling ads. So first of all, why should you do this? So effective retargeting campaigns achieve some of the highest performance metrics in Google Ads with higher click-through rates and conversion rates than conventional campaigns. Above all, this is because retargeting audiences have already shown an interest in your offer. Instead of letting these leads slip away forever, you can implement some simple tips to tap into this data. So tip 1 is obviously to set up your pixel on your website and ensure that it's working properly, like we were saying, to test. With your retargeting codes in place, you're now able to target users with ads based on the actions they take on your website. So this opens up lots of opportunities in terms of who you can target and messages you can use to encourage leads to take the next step along the guest journey. Tip number 2 is to be specific. So to retarget to specific groups on activity. So as Richard mentioned before, like serve family-orientated ads to users who visited family pages, or your new wedding packages to those who visited your wedding pages. You can also target based on those who have visited a certain page of your checkout process. So those who've not visited a certain page as well, like confirmation or thank you pages. How long someone spent on the site, their demographic targeting or geographic targeting as well. All you have to do is figure out what guests' actions tell you about their purchase intent, and then create ad campaigns that will encourage them to revisit your website and encourage them to book. So tip number 3 would be set up retargeting ads to run across all the various channels available. So Google Display, Discovery, YouTube, and social media. Keep your message consistent and relevant to the audience that you're targeting. Tip number 4 would be to reach your existing customers. So like we were mentioning, all the data that hotels have available to them and people with similar online behaviors. So you can do that using Customer Match. So this function allows you to upload your existing email database and target them with relevant campaigns. Implementing retargeting into your digital marketing strategy will help you increase your brand awareness and remind your targeted audience to come back to your website and make a purchase. So just some simple tips.
Well, simple but very important, and thank you for all the practical tips. I think they were really it was very how you say that, easy to understand. So thank you so much, Karen. And we are talking about data, we're talking about visiting website, it all comes to that. So I'm going to go to Theodoros now. And okay, Theodoros, what can you tell us more about having the website as the base for a digital presence? We already understand that it's really it's basic and crucial, right?
Actually, yes, and I keen of repeating the same thing in all the sessions or summits I'm going, but hoteliers still don't understand in some cases that the website is the body. Actually, it's a living organism, the brand.com. So you need to be constant in the renewal of the content of the technology of your website as well. And actually, all what we are talking about, digital campaigns or digital marketing, whatever, wouldn't exist if the website is not, let's say, the main tool in order to achieve direct sales. In terms of the booking engine, I do see also, if I consider our booking engine one of the top in the market. However, I've seen hotels having a website that cannot support the functionalities, actually, or the tools that we create all the time in order to achieve direct sales and engagement of the client. SOUMYA was talking about loyalty. Carol was talking about retargeting. So if we don't have the tools from the brand.com website in order to attach or implement in the booking engine the scripts, the Google Tag Manager scripts, the conversion tracking scripts from Sojern as well, the scripts that are given in order to track the performance of the hotel, or even if the website cannot add all the pop-up banners or all the scripts that the hotel's network gives, then we won't achieve anything. So the thing that, again, we need to highlight is that hoteliers must invest into renewing the website. It doesn't mean that I've given an amount of money this year to make a very nice website. It means that in 1 or 2 years, maybe the technology has changed. You need, now we're talking about small sizes, or let's say screens, like mobile device or tablets. I've seen bookings coming from widescreen televisions. So it's not only about short screens or small screens, but maybe in the future, nobody will use a tablet or a phone. Maybe they will do everything from your TV or your plasma TV. So you need to understand that the website is critical.
Yeah, I totally agree. And even though we're mentioning here social media presence, it's huge and very important. I just remember too that not so long ago, Instagram and Facebook just shut it down and everybody was desperate. So I think it's really important that you have your own channel, your own website, so you don't depend on others' platforms. I think it's really important. And I think also, Theodoros, that you said the importance of not just doing your website and let it there, like without revisiting and seeing what is trending. Like you said, maybe, who knows, maybe it's not small screens anymore that gonna be I don't know, the main source of direct bookings. Maybe it's something else. So you need to update all the time, right? Okay, we have another question here. It's like we're really heading to the final, guys. It's a shame because all of you have so much to share. I just want to have our last question. If anyone from the audience wants to make a question, please do so. But we have another question here to Juanjo, and it is, okay, let's try to finish with the key. What is the key to direct channel success, Juanjo?
Well, that's quite broad, no? I think if I had the answer,
it's a lot of responsibility to say.
Yeah. We wouldn't need this panel, no? If it were so easy. I think we touch a number of things, no? First is that there's no single solution, that you have to become quite an expert in a few tools. But on the other side, keep it simple. Don't try to do too many things at once. If you go back to the basics, you want to have a proper technology transactionally, so proper website, proper booking engine to cover the basics. Then you need to improve that conversion rate, because out of the gate, you're not going to get the best you can get. Once you're prepared to do that when someone arrives on your direct website, you are very successful at convincing them that you have to book there. Because that's what you're trying to do. It's pure marketing and sales. You're trying to convince someone, okay, book here. And then once you do that, bring as many people as possible. And there's a number of strategies to do that. Those strategies change with time. And I think some of the feedback we got from my colleagues here is there's no one single one. You have to try a multi approach. And that evolves with time. So you have to stay on top of things to know what's working now. Because typically, almost everything that you try becomes worse over time. There's almost no tool that becomes easier, better, or cheaper. Because when more people discover it, it becomes less useful. So you have to keep trying a new thing, but don't go crazy with too many trials if you don't have the resources to understand what is going on. And in general, I think, and this is a bit self-serving, but if you pay attention to the experts, typically you're going to be better off. Meaning, the people on the vendor side spend all their time thinking about this. That's why we think we can bring interesting insights to hoteliers, because they care about 20 things, but we care about one thing. And we do that really well. And that's why you hire people from the outside, and you don't try to do everything alone.
I really like that insight, Juanjo, about, I mean, especially now with hotels understaffed and all that, and you have to do 200 things at the same time. And I don't know, maybe you're really good with operations, but not so good with marketing, or vice versa. And that's why I think professionals or consultants or hotel or tech companies can provide you that support. You know, no one knows it all. And I think we should really rely on that. Go ahead, please. Sorry.
And by the way, just one regarding the other problem apart from time is typically money. You have to invest in something. But you know what? There's a very simple way to think about this. You typically have to justify every single euro you're spending on technology services or whatever for direct. However, you are paying 20% of Booking.com on every booking, and no one asks about this. If you have a limited budget for OTAs, why don't you have a limited budget for profitable direct bookings?
Yeah, that's... Sorry, go.
No, but there's literally no reason apart from all style accounting, because strategically it makes 100% sense to do that.
Yeah, I think it's
Go
that's
ahead,
very
Richard.
much.
Sorry.
It's very much an educational process as well. This is where hoteliers, have to move away from this mentality of, well, if it's if it's not broken, why do I need to fix it? I think it's more around understanding what the value add will be when you work with certain tech providers that can help you certainly stimulate those direct bookings. And we see that, as I say, let the experts help you, and obviously think multi-channel, because ultimately that's what's going to give you the ability to tap into different audiences, also potentially increment your conversions, anything between 2 to 5 times the more channels you include. So yeah, and I think utilize the resources that you have. That doesn't mean necessarily people power, but it just means insights, reports, analysis, travel intelligence. Really utilize that.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. And like Juanjo said too, I think it's again another thing that still impresses me is that a lot of hotels don't actually know how much they are paying for in commissions and how much it costs to direct booking, so they cannot. If you don't know, if you don't control or manage your costs, how you gonna make a good decision? And it's I don't know. Theodoros was saying before that he was being in events and talking maybe something about the importance of website, that it's a bit repetitive, but I think that's one of our jobs too, is the education, and like Richard said too, because sometimes, many times, basics are still not being done. So that's why we're all here and together and trying to raise the game of the hotel industry, because we are not known for being really technological or fast forward thinking. So I think it is about time, right? And talking about time, I still have time for one more question, actually. So Soumya, you're gonna have the one more question here, and it's about something that we already talked a little bit, but maybe you can give more detailed answers here. How to use guest personalization to improve hotel direct sales?
Right. Thanks, Paula, for the question. Very important word, guest personalization. Nowadays, it has been an important word every time, because the experience really matters. Let's leave apart the hotel industry. Let's come to our personal life. Whenever we want to go to some place, maybe it should not be a leisure travel or any travel related. It can be might visiting a doctor. So I'll just check that, did we go to this doctor last time? How was the doctor? Was his diagnosis good? So it's about the experience thing that's coming into picture right now. So similarly, it's how the travel industry. So what happens is, like, the guest experience is very, very important. The guest experience is important for a hotelier to bring back those get the guests again, return back to the hotels. So how do we do that? The guest personalization, how is it important? How do we do that? So we have to know our guest actually. We have to know, we have to find out what they want actually. So every time the guest is coming in, we have to actually communicate and know what they need, what they want, what their preferences, everything. But is it possible for a hotelier or the people who are there in the hotel to do these things manually? No. We all know the answer is a straight no. So how do the hotel does that? So there comes the question, there the same word again, data. We have to capture the data in the form of forms, surveys, tracking website browsing behavior, everything. And we do not only we need to actually capture the data, we need to capture the data, and we need to decode that data as well. That will help us to go ahead and use those data to personalize my guest experience. Let's take some few examples. Uh, a guest typically has three stages, like before the stay, during the stay, and after the stay. So before the stay, I know that I can go ahead and I can get back to this guest. They have stayed with us last time, so I'll target my potential guest. I will I will prepare my content and marketing communication in such a manner that should be relevant and that should drive the same guest to my website for getting the direct bookings. During the stay, I know that this guest might like an outdoor activity, might like he's adventure seeking traveler. So I'll recommend him activity or services, and of course I'll give them discounts on that, or maybe if it's possible for me to make it complimentary. So these are during the stay experience, and after the stay, when they go back to their home, of course not the next day, but of course maybe next month or so, I can pick up the phone and call. Being a hotel, I can call up them and say that, hey, how was your stay? What did you feel good? What did you not feel so good about it? So that we can go ahead and improve that, so that you can have the best stay when you come again to us the next time. Second point will be technologies once again. We need to tweak in between, we need to orchestrate the technologies actually. Uh, Again, as I said before, that gone are the days when the hotels would be with their legacy technology, old technology. We have to go ahead and embrace the new technology. Technical barriers are a strict no nowadays. How we can go ahead and use this technology to use the personalized guest experience. Uh, it will help us to have a repeat. We will have a repeat business traveler, of course. So we'll have his data stored, what he likes, what he does not like, what his preferences, so that if any guest might be on a business trip, so we can give him a free conference room for about an hour to go ahead and hold his meetings to make him our happy, streamline the stay. We can customize the food. I mean, I know that this guest comes to me every 6 months, once after every 6 months. So I would not recommend, being a hotelier, for the guest to come up again and tell me, hey, you know what, I need this much in this food, this much in this platter. No, I know their taste, I know their preferences when it comes to food. So this is a personal touch. I'll tell them, hey, Mr. So and so, I know that you like to eat this Italian dish, so should I go ahead and order this for you for today's evening or for today's dinner, something like that. He would feel good. And of course, the automated email should be there. The automated email, it collects feedback, it saves time, it saves money for the hotel, it saves time for the busy front desk. The front desk is very much busy, so we can go ahead and we can send the automated emails. We already have those data. We know that this is the liking for the guest. We will tell him that this is what you like, we know, but feel free to add on some more, what's your liking and everything. And last but not the least, the personal connect. The personal connect is very, very, very important. We all know that things have moved virtual, things have moved hybrid, but the personal connect is very, very necessary. When we talk to the person sitting opposite to us, we get to see his or her reaction. We know, understand what's going on in his mind. So the personal connect is very, very important to bring that strong trust based relationship with the guest. And we can see constant feedback. I mean, maybe I know the guest comes to my hotel twice or thrice a year, so I would take an opportunity to sit with him for a 5 minute discussion and ask his or her feedback, how to improve my how to improve my hotel amenities or whatever it takes to impact the hotel, the guest, for his stay at my hotel. And of course we have to pay a very, very careful attention to what he speaks, because listening is the key thing. We just can't go say and say. We have to listen, we have to be a patient listener, we have to hear what our guests are saying. And believe me, I have seen hotels working on the feedback, on the guest feedback, and they have improved a lot, and they have that has actually played a pivotal role to get more and more bookings and increase the revenue of the hotel. Yep, so that's it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you, Soumya. It's all about the small details, right? That's what makes the difference. Okay, so I think that's a wrap. We have, unfortunately, it is the end of this panel. I want to say that I had a great time here, and I've learned a lot from you guys. And I want to thank everybody who are watching us now. Thank you so much, and interact and send questions. Thank you for Travel Tech too. And I want to thank each of you, of course, for being here and sharing your knowledge and sharing your time, which is the most precious thing that you can share right now. So first, thank you, Theodoros Katsimbras, CEO at Book Online Now. Thank you so much, Theodoros.
Thank you.
Is there any way, of course, if you want to say any way that people can connect to you or connect to your company, maybe you can leave the website address or something like that?
They can find everything in Travel Tech. It's very well organized from Vinicius Geraldo. So I hope he continues this way, strong. And next year we will be here again.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Karen Doheny, digital marketing specialist at BOOKASSIST. Thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you for having me. You can find me on LinkedIn if you have any questions after the forum.
Great, and thank you, Juanjo Rodriguez, founder and CEO at the Hotels Network. Thank you so much, Juanjo.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Soumya BASU, Regional Director at eRevMax at RATETIGER. Thank you so much, Soumya.
Thanks, Paula. Thanks, Vinny. Thanks, Travel Tech. I cannot extend my thanks, and we have a great forum today. We had a great show. And yes, to all the guests who are listening. So if you want to contact me, you can go to our website, erevmax.com, and you can get my details from the Travel Tech as well. And feel free to get in touch with me if I can be of any help to you. Thank you.
And thank you, Richard Cottrell, Commercial Director at Sojern. Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you for organising, for moderating. Thanks for everyone on the panel. And yeah, definitely encourage all those listeners to contact all of us or any of us through LinkedIn, through our websites. We have a form as well, so any inquiries, just visit sojern.com and we'll be more than happy to help.
Okay, so thank you again, everybody. And yeah, and for me, if anyone wants to chat about anything regarding hotel tech, hotel marketing, I love a chat. So just contact me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty much there all the time because I'm very addicted to it. So thanks again, Travel Tech, for having this opportunity, for moderating this panel. And I guess I see you next time then. Bye-bye,
Sure.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.